Gemini season doesn't just bring duality, it brings exposure. The twins don't live side by side quietly. They pull apart. They contradict each other. They force what has been living in two separate worlds into the same light at the same time. And the shadow twin is not a metaphor. He is the part of him that learned how to love you in one world and keep an entire other world running alongside it. The version of him that convinced himself he could hold two lives, two truths, two versions of devotion, without either one collapsing. Gemini season is the moment that architecture fails. Today I asked the cards 3 questions. Who the third party actually is, and what role they truly played. What specific lies this season is forcing into the light, and what the shadow twin represents energetically, the part of him that has never been able to fully choose. 3 cards came forward. The cards already knew. They always do. Temperance, 10 of Cups, the Hanged Man, reversed. 1 card for who she is, 1 card for the lie he built around her, and 1 card for the part of him that still cannot let either world go. The question I asked, who is the third party, and what role did she actually play? Temperance, look at her, an angel, 1 foot on dry land, the other resting in the water. She does not choose between worlds. She exists in both simultaneously, pouring from 1 cup to the other without spilling a single drop. This is not the woman you imagined. She is not chaos. She is not loud. She does not pursue. She simply stays available, and she has been available for a long time. Temperance represents someone who has known him since before you entered his life. Perhaps since youth. Perhaps since an era of him that he has never fully shown you. Because that version of him is part of the shadow he has spent years trying to leave behind. She has an edge to her, a quiet kind of rebellion, the kind that never needed to announce itself. And the brutal truth this card carries is that she is not the villain in this reading. She is the contrast. She showed up in this spread because the universe placed her there as a mirror for him. She represents the version of himself he keeps returning to when he is not ready to fully become who he needs to be for you. She's the land beneath his other foot. And Temperance appearing here on the first card of a Gemini season reading is not an accident. Duality is her entire nature. She was always going to be in this spread. The next question I asked, what specific lies is Gemini season forcing into the light? 10 of Cups. This is the card of the perfect life. A family beneath a rainbow. Arms raised, abundance, warmth, the fulfilled dream of everything love is supposed to look like when it finally arrives. And Gemini season placed this card in the position of the lie. Sit with that. What the 10 of Cups is revealing is not that love is impossible. It is that he has been building 2 versions of this dream, simultaneously, in 2 different directions. There may be a life he has never fully disclosed to you. A past relationship that did not end as cleanly as he suggested. Children he mentioned late or not at all. A history that still has weight. Real, legal, emotional weight that he allowed you to love him without knowing. This is not the lie of a man who feels nothing. This is the lie of a man who wanted the dream so desperately that he convinced himself he could hold it in 2 hands at once, without telling either world that his grip was divided. The 10 of Cups reversed in context doesn't mean love is absent. It means the version of love he presented to you was incomplete. Gemini season does not allow that architecture to stand. The twins pull in opposite directions, and every secret built between two worlds eventually has to choose which world it belongs to. Now, it has to choose. The third question I asked, what does the shadow twin represent energetically? The part of him that cannot commit. The Hanged Man. Reversed, upright. This card is surrender. The soul that has released its grip on control. That hangs willingly in the pause between who it was and who it is becoming. Reversed, it is the soul that will not let go. Not because it can't, because it has decided, consciously or not, that suspension is safer than the fall. This is the shadow twin. He is not choosing between you and her. He is choosing suspension itself, because choosing means one world ends. And the shadow twin was built on the belief that both worlds could continue indefinitely if each of us had never moved. He knows. This card makes that clear. He's not confused. He's not lost. He knows what is true, what is hidden, what has been exposed, and he is actively resisting the surrender that would force him into honesty. But the reversal is also a signal. A card cannot stay reversed forever. Gravity does not negotiate. Gemini season is the force that removes the suspension. The exposure is already happening, with or without his permission. The shadow twin cannot survive in a season built entirely on bringing hidden things into the open. He will have to descend. The only question is whether he does it with dignity, or whether the cards pull him down. This reading was never about her. It was always about him, and how terrified he was of losing you. Temperance, a past he didn't know how to introduce without watching you leave. 10 of Cups, a life he still wants to build, with you in it, the Hanged Man reversed. A man suspended, not by indifference, but by love that made him a coward. He didn't hide it because he didn't care. He hid it because you matter too much to risk. And if this is a true twin flame connection, none of that changes the root of what this is. You already know who you are. A dark goddess doesn't step back from complexity. She steps into it with grace, with authority, with the kind of love that doesn't flinch. If she's part of his world, you will meet that with maturity, with power, because that is who you are. But the choice is yours, always yours. That is the shift. He loves you. The cards have always known that. The question was never whether the love is real. If this reading found you, it was meant to. Drop a comment and tell me, which card hit you the hardest? If another dark goddess needs to hear this, share it with her. Like it. Subscribe if you want to stay in this sanctuary. The cards will be waiting